This is part one of Play Your Cards Right, show one, production number 90080, date recorded 15th of January 1980, take one.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Nice! And tonight's the night if you play your cards right. And I know we've all said it at one time or another, but that is the name of our show, Play Your Cards Right. Now, look, in the next half hour, I could pretend and make out that there's nothing wrong with me. But I've never been one for deceiving the British public, but so I must show you what this is all about. I have fractured a bone. Please, don't start that. I didn't put this on for sympathy. I don't want it and I don't need it, but I have fractured a bone in my wrist. I actually have. Oh, and it really is, it's getting on my nerve. My watch is still under there. Whenever I want to know the time, I have to have an X-ray. It's costing me a fortune, but don't worry, folks, don't worry. The show. There's a saying, the show must go on. I don't know who said that, but I'd like to smash him right in the mouth. No, I'd like to break his wrist. But enough about me. Let's get on with our new game. Our dolly dealers are dying to dish out the cards. So away you go, my darlings. There we are. Okay. Top there, Natalie, she's dealing the red cards on the top level, and Joe is dealing the cards on the bottom level, and it's a very nice bottom level. And we have our players, we have our cards. Now, all we need are our players. So, hello, Bob. And hello, Karen. How are you? There we are. All right, Bob, well, welcome to Play Your Cards Right. And good luck with everything. Bob, what is it?
McKenna.
Oh, McKenna, yes.
I come from Sligo in Ireland. I now live in Wood Green. I'm a London taxi driver and I play golf.
Oh, no. You didn't leave your meter running outside, did you?
Yes, I did.
Because we're not paying for that, you know. And by the way, didn't I hear that your wife, you used to be a bus driver?
That's right.
And your wife was a conductress?
That's right.
Oh, so she had to let you go all the way?
Yeah.
Just a thought. Anyway, give my love to Wood Green. I'm an Edmonton boy, you know. Just around the corner from there. Lovely. Well, welcome. Carol, and who are you, my darling?
I'm Carol Kennedy.
Carol Kennedy, a very famous family. Yes, my darling?
I'm from Manchester.
Yes.
I'm a nurse and I work in a biscuit factory.
A nurse? A nurse in a bit? What do you put, splints on broken biscuits or something? Enough to drive your crackers, folks. We won't do any of those. All right, then. Anything else about you, my darling?
I'm married.
Oh, you are? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I met my husband in hospital when he was a patient.
Oh,
yes.
So he took a turn for the nurse. You must have been a night nurse. Anyway, Carol, we hope you and Bob, we hope you're feeling nice and relaxed, and good luck to both of you. And you did cut the cards before the show?
Yes.
That's fine, lovely. Well, now, each of our players has a deck of 52 cards. Each deck has been shuffled and cut before we went on the air, and Bob will be playing the red cards on the top level, Carol will be playing the blue cards on the bottom level. Now, the object of the game is to work your way across the board by predicting whether each of these cards is higher or lower than the preceding one. The first player to turn over the last card correctly wins the game. But you can't win a game until you win a question. And all of our questions are based on a poll of 100 people. Question number one, and you did Win the toss
Yes,
before the show.
yes.
All right, then, here we go, Bob. Here we go. We asked 100 married men, do you know which bra size your wife wears? How? Look, he's trying at the back there. Let's get into the game, for goodness sake. I loathe physical people. How many married men said yes, they did know which size bra their wife wears?
Well, if it was me, I'd know. I would say 10.
10 out of 100? 10 out of 100 you think would know? All right then, Carol, well now, you're a married lady. Do you think your husband knows your...
Yes.
Bra? Would you say it's higher or lower than that? Not than the bra, I mean... You think it's higher than that? All right, then. We only asked 100 men. The others didn't feel up to it. So you do think it's higher. So if it is higher, then you've won the question. And, of course, if it's 10 or lower, then, Bob, you will play the cards, all right? Otherwise, you will play the cards, Carol. The actual number of married men who said they did know their wife's bra size is... 72! 72! You see, we do take an interest in you ladies. All right then, Carol, now you have the choice of a base card here. You can either... Oh! That's a very good card. And I was just going to say that aces always play high in Play Your Card. It always is the top card. OK, so do you want to go higher or lower?
Lower?
What's that?
Lower.
Lower than an ace, OK. And that's a 9. Now, you can freeze if you want to. And by the way, if I'd have turned over another ace, that would be no good. You don't get anything for a pair. Which has got nothing to do with the last question. For goodness sake. All right, then, but you can freeze. This is the freeze bar. If I move that to there, then your cards are safe. But if you turn over the next card and it's wrong, then Bob gets a chance to play his cards. So it's up to you, my darling, because you do sort of know the rules. What do you want to do? Do you want to go on? Do you want to stay there?
I'll go on, please.
You do? All right then, my darling. Higher or lower than a 9? What do you think? Lower than a 9? Lower than a 9? I did warn you, darling, that's what could happen. But, Bob, you're in the game now. A 2. A very good card. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What do you think, then? Higher or lower than a 2?
Got to be higher.
Got to be higher than a 2. A 6. Just higher, but it's... well, it could
I think I'll freeze.
You want to freeze? OK, you're going to play it safe. A freeze bar comes over. Shut up. He made up his own mind. Now then, question number 2, and I believe this is for you. All right, my darling Carol, here we go. We asked 100 single men, have you ever pretended to a married... have you ever pretended... All right. We asked 100 single men, have you ever pretended to be married to avoid getting involved with a woman? Oh. It's happened to you, hasn't it, dear? Oh. How many... The Lonely Hearts Club over there. How many single men said they had pretended to be married to avoid getting involved with a woman?
Ooh.
How many out of 100 would you say? Oh, this is a difficult one. Yeah, but what
20.
do you... 20 out of 100 you say. All right, then now then, Bob, do you think it's higher or lower than that? They've made up their mind. What do you think?
If it was the other way around, I'd know.
The other way? Good answer, Bob.
More.
You think more? You think it'll be higher? Yeah. OK, well, the actual number of single men who said they had pretended to be married to avoid getting involved with a woman is... 21! Oh, just higher, Bob. You got in there by the skin of your teeth, which gives you another go at the cards. And you can change this card now because you won the question.
Yep.
OK, you've changed the card to a 7. It's not much. I'm sorry about that, Bob, but there you are. What do you want to do?
I'll say higher.
Higher, higher? Higher than a 7. An ace? Oh, well done. Come on, Bob.
Lower.
Lower than an ace. A 6. Now, this is for to win the game, so it's a bit of a chance. What do you think?
I'll freeze.
You freeze! Oh! He's going to freeze. All right, then. OK. Do you have chicken for dinner? Don't worry about it. You'll play the game correctly. You've both got a good idea of it. And I think we're back to you, Bob, with the question. We asked 100 Japanese women. Well, he's a taxi driver. The man nipped over there for the weekend. Right. When your husband enters the room, do you bow? How many Japanese women said yes? They did bow when their husband entered the room. We know you do, Doris. Now then.
90.
You think 90 out of 100 Japanese women would do this? Now, Carol, it's up to you. Do you think it's higher or lower than 90?
Lower.
Lower than 90, you think? All right, then the actual number of Japanese women who said they did bow when their husband entered the room is 2. Oh, Carol, you won! You've got an ace there. You've got an ace there. Do you want to change the card?
No, I'll keep
that. No, you're quite happy with that. What do you think? Lower than an ace, Carol. An 8. Oh, it's a bit middle. But, well, it's up to you. What do you think?
Higher.
Higher?
Higher.
Higher than an 8. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But now you've given Bob the chance to win the game. Bob, you can have a free shot at this now. Higher or lower to win the game?
Higher.
Higher than a 6 to win the game? Well, it was certainly a very exciting break, and we've got a commercial break there. You've won £50. Up to you. OK, and we'll be back. We'll be back very, very soon. In fact, we'll be back in a deuce.
This is part 2 of Play Your Cards Right Show 1, production number 90080, date recorded 15th of January 1980, take 1.
Bob is one game up. You have £50 to your credit. All right, then, we've dealt out some new cards, and we're starting game number 2 now. You have to win 2 games, actually, to win the match. OK, and I believe you're receiving the question. Is that right, Bob?
I think so.
I think so. We'll be alternating on that? I think we will. Right. We asked 100 single women, is it important that the man you go out with is good-looking? How many single women said it was important that the man they went out with was good-looking?
20.
20? 20? Listen to the women out there. You've got faith in women. All right, then, Carol, do you think it is higher or lower than 20?
Well, it's not important to me, but I'll say higher.
It's not important to you. That got you off the hook, didn't it? All right, then, but you say it's higher. Well, the actual number of single women who said, yes, the man should be good-looking is 36. You're right, Carol. It was higher. So you've got the chance with your base card now, which is a queen, and that's a good card. Higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower than a queen. Oh, Jack. A good card. Good card. Lower than the Jack. Carol, you've had some wicked cards. You really have. Oh, and a 7 for you, Bob. What do you think?
I can't change it, can I?
No, you can't, because you didn't win the question. I'm glad you
Right.
asked that.
Lower.
What?
Lower.
Lower than a 7. A 5. Well done.
Higher than a 5.
Higher than a 5. A Jack, yes.
Lower than a Jack.
Lower than a Jack. OK, and replace all those cards, will you? That's fine. Well, now, you have some bad luck here and there. I think it's your question now, Carol.
Yes.
We asked 100 people in a previous studio audience here at London Weekend, an actual studio audience, have you had any kind of alcoholic drink today? How many said they'd had an alcoholic drink that day?
Fairly high, I should think.
Fairly high?
Yes.
Yes. Well, you should see them
60.
floating down the Thames here sometimes after a show. How many?
60.
60 out of 100. That is pretty high. OK, Bob, would you say it's higher or lower than that?
I'd say it's lower.
Yes, lower?
Yeah. Although it's nerve-wracking being here, I think it's lower.
It's no, but they're not all contestants like you. But you still think it's lower. Yeah. OK, then. How many people here tonight have had a drink during today? Yeah, all drunks, a lot of them. I think, well, the actual number of people in the studio audience at London Weekend who said yes, they'd had an alcoholic drink that day is 16. So there we are. It was lower. 19, sorry. Well, I was looking like that. Well, I have had a drink today. OK, so it was lower. Bob, you were in the driving seat. A 7. You can change that card now.
Higher.
What do you think? No, you can change the card if you want to.
Can I? I'll change it then.
Yeah, you change it. I thought you would. OK, and you change it to a queen, which is a good card.
Lower.
What do you think? Lower than a queen, Bob? A 9.
Lower.
Bit in between, lower than a 9. Now you give Carol the chance. Do you want to change that card, Carol?
No, I'll keep the card.
Keep the card?
Lower.
Lower, what do you think? Lower than a... Oh, very good. Higher than a 3. A 6.
Freeze.
You're going to freeze. She's playing it safe. All right, Carol, there. Replace the cards. There we are. This is question number 3 for you, and I think we're back with you, Bob.
Yes,
I think,
that's
yes,
right,
we
yeah.
are. We asked 100 married men if you were watching the big match and your wife wanted to switch off the telly and make love. Look at their faces out. This is a question for everyone. How many would do it? How many married men said they would switch off the big match if their wives wanted to make love?
Well, not me anyway.
Not you. Good boy. What about it? Yeah. What do you think?
I would have said 30.
30 out of 100, you think? 30 out of 100. What do you think, Cara? Higher or lower than 30?
Well, considering the kids, lower.
Considering the kids... Oh, it is in the afternoon. You think it's lower than 30? You're right. The actual number of married men who said they would switch off the big match if their wives wanted to make love is... 67! Oh, it's higher. All right, then. Well, now, you're back in the driving seat again, Bob. So what do you think with this queen?
Lower.
Lower than a queen, you say? A 9. Oh, no.
Lower.
Lower than a 9. A 4. Good card. What do you
Higher.
think? What?
Higher.
Higher than a 4. An 8. Get in the middle. It's
higher.
Is it? You're going
Higher,
for it?
yeah.
Higher than an 8. Oh, dear, they have to all go and replace all those cards. Gives you the chance then. All right then, Carol. Higher or lower than the 6?
Higher.
Higher than a 6. A king. Lower than a king. Tiebreaker. It's a bit like that, isn't it? I'm enjoying this myself. I really am. That was marvellous. So you now have £50 and we have a tiebreaker situation, which is 3 cards each, new lot of cards on the board there, and the maximum of 3 questions. So this is real crunch time. OK, then, here we go. The first question coming up here, and I believe it's you, Carol.
Yes.
Is it? Fine. I think it is, Carol. Right. We asked 100 married men if you were introduced to a beautiful woman who was wearing a see-through blouse, would you be too embarrassed to stare? How many married men said they would be too embarrassed to stare if they were introduced to a beautiful woman wearing a see-through blouse?
Not many.
Not many. Well, how many? How high or how low?
40.
40 out of 100 you think would be embarrassed. Well, Bob, what about you? Because you're a very outspoken chap. Yeah. Would you be embarrassed?
No.
No, no. Oh, no. But would it be higher or lower than 40?
Lower.
Lower than 40. Well, the actual number of married men who said they would be too embarrassed by a beautiful woman's see-through blouse is 25. So it was lower. It was lower, so Bob, you're in the driving seat again, and it is sudden death, so very important to gain control of the board at this juncture. Bob, you have a choice of a base card, but that's a good one. A very good card.
Higher.
Higher than a 3, a 7. Now, what do you want to do?
Freeze.
It's in the You're going to freeze. OK, Bob, you can freeze, which stops Carol from playing if that had been a wrong call. And I believe it's your question, Bob, I think. OK, here we go. We asked 100 single men, would you want to live in a country where women were slaves to men? Yes. How many single men said they would want to live in a country where women were slaves to men?
Good question.
Yes, it is a good question, yes, but...
quite a lot.
You're not a slave, are you?
60.
60 out of 100 you think would. All right, then. Carol, do you think it would be higher than that, my darling?
Yes, I do.
You think it would be higher than 60?
Yes.
You really do? And so does Doris over there. All right, then. The actual number of single men who said they would want to live in a country where women were slaves to men is 43. So it wasn't high. You were wrong, Carol, and you were quite right there with your sort of risk being that high. So, Bob, you can change this card. You can change the card. You're getting the rules now, aren't you? Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sorry about the 8, but there you are. But you can still win it with this.
I'll go.
And this is for the match.
Higher.
Higher? Higher than 8 for the match? £50 for you, my darling, and thank you for being with us. Thank Carol once more. And come with me, Bobby. The big things are going to happen now. Whoa! Down there. All right, then face me. You're now going to have a chance for the big prize cards. Now, deal out the cards, Dolly Dealers. And it's a new deck, and you did cut them before the show.
Yes.
All right, Bob, that's fine. Well, now, you played them right to have the right to go for PMP. Points make prizes. What do points make? Prizes! You're so right. And our star prize tonight, Bob, is a car. So that's what you're going for. But there are other lovely things on the way, believe me. Now, what's going to happen is this. You've already won £100. Forget about that. That is as good as done. But we now give you 200 points. I'm going to ask you a question. If you get the question right, you'll get another 50 points to go with your 200. If you get it wrong, we'll take 50 points away from you, which makes it more difficult, but you can, if you play your cards right, you know, you can still get quite a total. All right, the question is now coming up, and good luck. The number of television companies that make up the ITV network is not 12. It is not 12. Is it more or less than 12?
More.
More. The answer is 15. Shame. It's a shame, but you've got 150 points, and let me show you now what happens. All right, then?
I think I won, didn't I? I think I won, didn't I?
You were right. What's the matter with you? For goodness sake, looking all downhearted. You got it right. Why'd you get excited for it? You got 250 points. I knew that all the time. Right, now you have a choice of a base card. OK, then, if it's there. Thank you, Joe. You're having a drink. Right. OK, you've got a 9 there. You have the choice to change that card.
I'll change it.
You change it. Good boy. I thought you would. You've changed it to a 4, which is much better than a 9. All right, Bob, you've got your card. Now, you play the game the same as you did before. High, low, or low, high, whatever you think. But this time, you will be risking points. On every turn of the card, you risk some points of your 250. OK, you come down here. You get to here, we'll give you another 200 points when you get to there to add to your total. You come along here. You come along here. When you get to this card, if you have 4,000 points or more, you have a chance to go for the car. Whoa. That's it. Now then, I then ask you another question, and then on the last turn of the card, that is what will determine whether you get the car or not. OK, then? That's the idea. Now, while we're on these two lower levels here, your minimum risk must be 50 points. All right? The minimum risk must be 50. You can double up, or any part of what you've got up to then. You know, you can double up. Now, very important, this rule here. When you get to here, you must risk half the total. Whatever you've got here, half the total there, you must risk. Is that quite clear?
Yes.
All right, then. Now, how many points do you want to risk?
200.
Higher or lower than the 4?
200.
200?
Yeah, higher.
Higher than the 4 for 200. A 10. But it's up to you. You know the rules, and you've been playing very well up to here.
200. Lower.
200 lower than a 10. 200 lower than a 10 is 10. Well done. You've got 650. All right, then, and don't get too greedy, but, you know, you're playing very well. What do you think?
300. Higher.
300 higher than a 7. Oh, that hurt. You're back to 350, but we give you 200, so I think it's 550 now. Am I right? 550, yes. OK.
500.
500? 500 higher?
Higher.
What do you think? Higher than 3? Oh, well done. Now then. How much? How many points?
1,000.
1,000?
Higher.
1,000 higher than a 4? A 10? Oh! Great. But a bit of a... I don't know what you do here, Bob. I really don't. I wish I could help you here. But is that what you ever feel?
I'm going to go.
You've got 2,000?
Yeah. 2,000.
2,000?
Lower.
Lower than a 10? 2,000 and chance to go for the car? You got 50. Take it up here. 50. And you've got to bet at least half that. You've got to risk at least half
50.
50.
Lower.
Lower than a king. But that's play your cards right. Oh, come in. Oh, well, Bob, I can't... That was so close. We couldn't have had a better player at the card. Now, oh, well, thank you, Bob. And, you know, it could have been a car. We've got some lovely things here, but would you like a gorilla? or an elephant, or a cuddly toy? There's some cuddly toys down there. What do you think?
Oh, the cuddly toy. Give it to my daughter.
All right, then. That looks lovely. You give her a cuddle as she goes as well. Give her a cuddle as well. All right, then. Bob, we thank you very much for being with us. Thank you so much. How about him? He's been a lovely contestant. He really has. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. Well, the cards are stacked against us, but it's not very late. It can still be a big night if you play your cards right. Good night, and thank you.